Captain America Brave New World coming out tomorrow in previews, 52%. And of course, the reviews are still coming in, but it has only beat out the Eternals and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a deeply mediocre piece of product that feels like something assembled by committee. It's a lazily retrofitted and dumbed-down hybrid of Winter Soldier and Civil War that trades present tense topicality for Incredible Hulk nostalgia. Ouch. It's bad. Renegade Online. All the Marvel MCU movies ranked by the tomato meter. And of course, look, Rotten Tomatoes are Rotten Tomatoes. We make fun of them like everybody else does. But just for comparing RT scores to other RT scores, let's just use it as that control in this experiment. And I'm not going to sit here and go through every one of them. We all remember what happened with Black Panther, which I don't understand the score. It was an okay movie. It wasn't one of the best ones. It was another Marvel character movie. But
I liked it a lot, but like you're saying, it was I don't want to say it's a filler because I feel like I believe that's disrespectful to like the characters, if you will. But like you said, it's just kind of like an expansion. It wasn't like the main storyline, even though I know it lines up with the main storyline eventually. It was almost like, having a main theme of like a certain kind of book, and then it had like sub books that you could read. You don't have to read it, but you could read. And I'm surprised it's number one.
Yeah, beat out Avengers Endgame, the original Iron Man, Thor Ragnarok.
Beat out the original Iron Man?
Right. This is from highest to lowest. So that was the top rated. Well, I'll put it this way. When the reviews came out for Black Panther, the reviewers outed themselves. Every one of these reviews that raved about it had a paragraph, usually somewhere near the top, talking about how, and I'm quoting, incredibly black and wonderfully black and all this kind of stuff this movie is. There was a very
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, more or less. This was kind of around the beginning of that really hot era in Hollywood where hashtag Oscars so white started becoming a thing, and the real push to where, I mean, now the Oscars have this thing to where if you want to be considered for Best Picture, you have to have certain measures of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the movie. Otherwise, you won't even be considered for Best Picture.
Okay, just call it for what it is. You can't be white.
Yeah, it's more or less. But you go down here, a lot of 90s.
Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Look, I liked Ragnarok. What universe? I am willing to concede that it was not the best of the films, and it was kind of wonky, okay? Number 4? Okay. 14. Maybe.
Right.
Number 4? How is the first Thor not number 4?
I don't really know. But again, that's why none of it really it's the critics. And over the years, I mean, over 11 years, critics come and go. More critics come in. Yeah. And you get these kind of bizarre readings, and that's why a lot of this you can kind of throw out, with rare exception to see how bad some of them get. But Shang-Chi got a 92 for Pete's sake, and I thought that movie was weak sauce all over the place. Guardians, Spider-Man. Here's the original Captain America's and the original Avengers, 91 and 90. Let's kind of skip down here. You can see the original Ant-Man, Black Widow, even the first Captain Marvel, which was a terrible movie, just terrible. Got a 79.
I'm glad to see it's beneath Captain America, at least.
This is true. This is true. Deadpool and Wolverine got a 78, look, that movie did exactly what it needed to do. It was fun. It was irreverent. It was crass and crude. Lots of dirty jokes and lots of F-bombs and stuff. It's just that's what the movie is built for.
Right.
It's for that. Here's the deal. You come all the way down here. The Marvels got a 62. Inexplicable. Because, again, terrible, terrible movie. Captain America Brave New World coming out tomorrow in previews. 52%. And, of course, the reviews are still coming in, but it has only beat out the Eternals and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Reminder, folks, what movie right now Is Captain America Brave New World trailing in pre-sales by 10 to 15%? Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. This is where we are.
Yeah.
It's bad. And if we click into this, it doesn't really get any better. So it's gotten a few more reviews since I saw it earlier. It's at 51%. They just have the all critics. They haven't separated out the top critics yet. I think it'll probably happen tomorrow. But if we click into this, this is why this movie is probably in deep doo-doo. The Marvel audience is not engaged with this. The Marvel audience, I think, long ago left the building. They've been treated to so many incredibly expensive yet horrible productions, both in film and television. The last, 3.5 years now since COVID. Scott Mendelson. This is brand new. This was not here earlier. Scott Mendelson, our favorite Scott Mendelson, formerly of Forbes magazine, has even splatted this thing. That's bad. You read through some of these, a deeply mediocre piece of product that feels like something assembled by committee rather than by anyone with a particular vision of the story that they wanted to tell. Which makes sense considering how many rewrites, reshoots, everything else. This was a Frankenstein, hobbled and cobbled together movie at the end of the day. Scott Mendelson, Brave New World is very bad. Wow. Imagine that Roger. Now, this guy is very left-wing apologist for Disney. He's gotten into it with all of us in the YouTube community that runs in this gamut. Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, everybody else. You can find scores of videos making Scott Mendelson joke, my channel included. But he says, Brave New World is very bad. Imagine that Roger Moore's first 007 flick was A View to Kill. It's a lazily retrofitted and dumbed-down hybrid of Winter Soldier and Civil War that trades present tense topicality for Incredible Hulk nostalgia. Ouch. I guess maybe Scott felt like he needed more readership, so he had to start being honest about these things. I don't know.
Oh, start being honest. What a thought.
All right. Hot button. How bad is Captain America Brave New World? It's so bad that one really has to break it down to all of his missteps to really figure out how it all went so wrong. Let's see, some other zinger. I mean, there's a few positive ones in here, don't get me wrong. Captain America Brave New World takes bold swings in redefining what it means to carry the shield, and it sticks the landing. I don't know.
What is the redefinition of carrying the shield? Like, she's being so vague about it that her review is absolute bantha poodoo.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming if you read her full review, maybe she goes into more depth on what that means.
Oh, these are just synopses. Okay.
These are the clips. These are the pull quotes that these guys will pull out and stick here. The story is all lead up and no payoff. It's not horrible, but it feels bland. The grand message here is eye-rolling, especially given what the real America is going through. What's most frustrating in this utterly pointless MCU entry is that for a Brave New World, this is the same mediocrity. Shield yourselves. Yikes. I love this one. No blockbuster that cost this much should look this shoddy. The complaints out there about this film and its terrible CGI, which honestly doesn't surprise me. Again, considering how many times they reshot this and how many trips back to the VFX department this film has taken through all of its iterations just to get to where we are. More or less, this is kind of what we predicted would happen.
Oh, we all knew it. As soon as they announced it, nobody was excited. Well, a lot of people weren't excited. It's like, oh, another Marvel film. Oh, it's not actually going to be Captain America.
Right.
Oh, they released the entire film and the bad guy in the trailer. Oh, we already know what happens. Wow,
Yeah.
Shocker. If they would have kept Red Hulk a mystery and not told us that Harrison Ford was going to turn into Red Hulk. Now, maybe it's in the comic books. Maybe people have known. Normies like me were so disappointed. I was excited at first when I just saw the red hand. Okay. And I thought that was pretty much where the trailer was going to cut off. But then when they actually reveal the entire monster, it's like, then there's no buildup. It's like, I already know what happens.
Yeah.
I already know what's going to happen. I already know who the bad guy is. Why would you do that? Why would you reveal who the bad guy is?
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.